Welcome, boys and girls, to the Oh Dear Mother podcast, the podcast where I, the son, answers all my mother's questions about sports and more. Welcome.
Hi, I'm as always behind the camera. So I was so looking forward to this episode because I have a question that has relation from the previous episode about you mentioned when you say that that the football player in a way playing a role of gladiators on the stadium. So can you talk about this? Like, what do you think? Who are they for us contemporary viewers?
Well, literally, they're not. Well, yeah, they're playing the role of gladiator, but I think they are the modern day gladiators, and specifically football players. The league is so controlled by the owners and the management, whereas the NBA, the players dictate almost everything. Major League Baseball doesn't have a salary cap, so the players just get paid. Hockey, it's just not as well respected in North America, so the players make a lot less, but still, 5 to 7 million a year is not change. And in football, like I mentioned in the other video, you can get a contract signed, but less than half of it is guaranteed, and they can just dump you if you get injured. So imagine like a gladiator back in the day. He wins. So much pride because they weren't just slaves. They were slaves, but they were respected. They were literally athletes of back in the day, and people had their favorite gladiators. And let's say this gladiator gets injured, and all of a sudden, no, but he can't fight. So they just dump him like garbage because in the end of the day, he's a slave. And in a sense, that's what is happening in the NFL. Like, sure, you can, like I said, you can sign a giant contract, but only what matters is what is guaranteed and the time frame of that guarantee. Not even really the time frame, to be honest. Like, so you can sign, like I was saying before, $100 million for 4 years, which is a moderate contract in these days NFL, but only 40 million is guaranteed, and for 2 years. So let's say 50, just to make it even. 25 million, 25, 25, 25. But only the first 2 years and 50 million are guaranteed. So let's say you get injured halfway through your second year, and a bad injury, or you just have to, or you can't play at all. Period. They can just dump you with no consequences, and that's kind of crazy to me in modern days. And yeah, I just don't really understand how that's fair, especially because football is one of the most hard grinding sports. Well, in the world, really, to be honest, I think it's actually more damaging to the body than rugby.
Okay, so if players risk brain injuries, which they are because the heats and the flies and then how they hit each other, how they hit ground, and I mean sometimes it's beautiful to watch, but when you think about what's going on with the body, human body, it's like it hurts to watch, and it's very dangerous. So if players risk brain injuries, why is the game still glorified instead of to be redesigned?
Well, they tried to resign. They introduced these new helmets for practice, but players say they look ridiculous because they're literally like balloons on their heads.
Mm-hmm.
So they know it's safer, but they refuse to wear them just because they look ridiculous. That's literally why they don't wear them. In
Mm-hmm.
practice, they wear them, but imagine on national television, you have a bobblehead on
Well,
your
some
head.
of them I've seen.
Some of them, yes. Some of them care, obviously, but like maybe 5% at most.
Right. So which position, I guess you can't really say, but is any specific position on the play on the ground can be more injured, like more injury?
Honestly, these days, most bad injuries happen no contact. You just made a cut and your leg goes out and you tear your ACL. So it's not even about being hit. It's just you made a bad move. So honestly, it could be anything. Now everything is an injury. All players are injured like 24/7. They just don't say it. And some injuries are bad. Some
Do
injuries
you
are not good.
have do you remember in your head someone who had been really damagedly injured.
Well, the guy you mentioned last
Yeah, I think
podcast,
his name
but that was
Damar Hamlin.
yeah, Hamlin or something. But that was a cardiac arrest, right? That's what I mean. No
Yeah, it's
contact.
internal, like
No contact. That's
yeah.
what I mean. It just happened. Um, I can't think of a really really bad injury right now, but it's always an ACL or an MCL, something in the legs.
Okay. So going back with the question of like hero or gladiator of our modern days, like I always mesmerized how they decorate themselves. You know, like what is the name of the player who had diamonds in his teeth?
Oh my god, mom, there's so many. I don't know.
Well, but it's just like the whole mouth.
Well, they're called grills, mom.
Okay. Well, it's like, you know, big chains and all
Well, yeah,
these
that's just
things.
culture.
Because they wanna attract the shine or the sun. So
Well, they want to show people that they're wealthy.
yeah, so
Imagine growing up in Mississippi, in a 100-person town, in a shack with no running water, bathroom and outside, and then you make $100 million. What are you gonna do? First thing you're gonna do is buy a fucking house for your mom and a car, and chains. Just like that. So that's the problem with all these players. Like I said, the average length of an NFL career is 3 years, and even that's not guaranteed money.
3 years.
That's what I said before.
Only 3 years.
Yes, that's the average NFL career.
Oh my god. So the guys who played like what's the
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He played till he was 45.
My lord. It's like
That's why he took less money, so the team could pay the other players. That's why he won 7 Super Bowls.
So but he was just playing for the love of game?
Love of game, and he knew he was the biggest superstar, so he could make all the money outside. He doesn't need to get paid by the NFL. He has his commercials. Giselle Bundchen, his wife. Well, ex-wife. So
Oh, is it that cutie guy?
Yeah.
Okay. I just had a question that just flew away about. Oh, so when I look at them, I remember. When I look at them, you know, decorating themselves with the diamonds, gold, you know, this tattoos and possible imaginable, you know, things. And then the name, some of them has really kind of a god, like Mon-Ra.
Amon-Ra, same brand.
Yeah, it's like I'm just curious if they know that they have relation with the names to Egyptian guy.
Well, a lot of them are nicknames.
Of course,
Like
but
Booger McFarlane. You think his name is actually Booger? No, but his mother called him Booger when he was a child, so it stuck.
well, Booger is not really a god name.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the weird names that kind of stick around. They're all nicknames. Well, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think, is actually his real name, like born. But most of those names you hear, they're not real. They're made up. Or nicknames.
Do you remember any like interesting, peculiar, funny names from?
Well, there's Juju. I forget his last name right now. I mean, I'm not sure. I can't think of anything. It'll come up. I'll say something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, another thing I wanted to ask.
Oh yeah, Sauce Gardner. I'm not going like Amon-Ra St. Brown is the only one that has anything to do with like mythology. All the other names are just ridiculous. But yeah, Sauce Gardner, and I think that's his birth name.
That's funny. So what else I wanted to ask you is that do you think the football has any like a strategy of football has any relation to chess play?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
It's a game of chess, man. Football is a game of chess. I know people think it's no, not. People think it's slow, and it's like stop go, stop go, stop go. But that's exactly what chess is. It's a move by move. You're not just going like basketball. It's you're just going nonstop. Football, every play is a different strategy, depending where you are on the field, depending who you're facing. Not just team wise, but whoever the defensive staff that they put on or offensive staff that they put on the field. So you're always watching. That's why they have so many coaches. They have the head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Those are the three main guys. But then they have a coach for every single position. Then they have the training staff, and everyone's always watching and planning. So the week you have before the game is to strategize how to go against that specific team. But then within the game, you have to make adjustments. So you always have, not always, but most of the time, you have a coach up top in the box, seeing the whole field, and then the other guys on the bottom, and they're always communicating with each other. What are we gonna do? Okay, we're here. It's let's say it's 4th and 1st. Okay, we're the Eagles. We're gonna do the tush push, where they literally just give it to the quarterback and everybody pushes his ass. So it's called the tush push.
Mhm.
Or let's say it's 4th and 10. So it's like, okay, do we go for it? Well, it depends how much time is left on the clock, what the score is. So there's so many factors that go into it. I would say it's even more complicated than chess. Chess is probably actually simpler, to be honest, because it's not involving 11 lives that are in action at all times. You're moving one piece at a time, not 11.
So which coach is the most important
do you
among
mean?
the all? Like the
It
number.
depends. I mean, the head coach obviously is the head coach.
So the head
But-
coach
well,
is
but
staying
no.
on the field.
Yes, he's always on the field, 100%. And then there's like defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator. Now, some coaches trust those two to run each side of the ball. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like the offensive coordinator, he calls the shots on offense. Defensive coordinator calls the shots on defense. And I'm the head coach. If I don't like it, I can overrule that. So there's a few coaches that are head coaches and they'll call everything, but they'll run it by, they'll kind of have like a consensus. And some coaches just don't have that talent. They're leaders, but they're not good at calling plays. You know what I mean? They establish a culture, like the Detroit coach Johnson. Was it Johnson? Campbell. He's a leader. He's a leader. He's a big guy. He knows how to motivate a team. He knows how to create a culture and build an identity for a team. But last year they were the best team in the league, and they had the offensive coordinator running the offense and the defensive coordinator running defense. They traded both of them, and now both of those guys are head coaches in other teams. So now people are asking, okay, so are you a leader? Are you a coach? Can you call plays? So it's going to be an interesting season for Detroit to see if they can sustain that identity with new personnel. But he's the definition of like leader. And then you got Andy Reid for Kansas City, who've won the past 3
Yeah.
or 4.
That's what I was wanted to ask.
He runs the shit. He'll take advice from here and there, but he runs the shit, and that's why he's one of the big. He's I would say top 3 of all time.
Do you think he's gonna be
Already.
this year?
The coach, the
Yeah.
team.
The coach.
The coach is always going to be good.
No. But is that guy? I thought he was gonna retire or.
No, he's only like 72, I think.
Oh,
No, not even. I think he's only 65. He's in his 60s, I think. But then you got Bill Belichick, who's like 72, coaching college football for the first time in his life, and dating a 25-year-old. It's hilarious. It's been in a news cycle. Oh, completely. He's like the most serious person you ever met in your life until last year, since he quit football. Well, he didn't quit football. He didn't get hired to coach a professional team. So he started dating a college girl, and now he's coaching college football this year.
Wow! What
Yeah.
what information?
Oh, and she's
I'm
like
getting.
she's like a control freak too. In an interview, like they had an interview, and she was in the background, and she's like, "We're not gonna talk about that." Oh yeah. It's like a whole huge thing. People are like, "Who is this guy? Bill Belichick?" Listening to somebody, doing interviews. He's usually like, people ask him a question, and he'd be like, "Yeah, well, it happened. Next question." And now he's just like blah 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 blah. I wrote a book, and this woman like completely sucked him in. And apparently, her mother owns like a sex shop in Connecticut. And anyways, it's just a funny story. I haven't really read much about it because I don't like Belichick. I respect him. But yeah, anyways, that's what happens when you fall in love with a young pussy. That's that.
All right. Thanks.
We'll end it there.
Lots of information. I started so seriously, and now I'm overwhelmed with the information on the personal life of the.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, just wait till the real season starts.
Okay, well, guys, please leave us a comment because we're new. We're trying our very
Yeah,
best.
like and subscribe as well. This is our first few days doing it, and give us some advice, what we should do, what you like, what you don't like, and we're open to suggestions. This is just the beginning.
And we really like it. Bye.
Ciao.